Pitch number 3. Chief Awesome Officer Jason Weiner is not new to the PubTalk stage, but he's back to share his latest project, RaceManager. RaceManager is a software company that enables athletes to compete on real-world courses in a socially distanced and virtualized setting. This one-stop solution powers event management, participant management, timing and scoring, and grassroots commerce sponsorships. The team is led by a serial founder/CTO from Silicon Valley and elite sports-centric product, marketing, and operations executives. Launched late last year, they expect to see 100,000 race entries by the end of 2021. So come on up and tell us more, Jason. Where are you?
Sorry, I'm a little limpy. I'm trying to Mission Farms. So I broke my leg, broke my tibia at Batchy right before the big dump this year. Was trying it, just had a big PT session this morning, had a big myofascial release session after that. Feels pretty good. I was standing back there, I was shaking a little bit. I'm not shaking now, so I guess I'm doing all right. So hi, friends. I'm Jason Weiner. I'm super excited to share with you RaceManager. It's a new, and wait for it, novel. Get it? Eh? Too early. Way to create races for real people on real courses in real life. So first, a little bit about me. I've been a serial startup guy for 25 years. I came out of Silicon Valley. I've started 7 companies of my own. I've raised venture for 2 of them. One of them is still in existence today, which has been going on about 10 years now. We do about 1 billion pages a month. On a website. We do 150 million active users. It's an educational product that I started with the first executive from Yahoo. Pretty cool product. The original founding team is all kind of exited, transitioned off, and we've all gone on to other things. I've also advised about 20 or so other startups, including some startups in this room. So my family and I moved to Bend about 3.5 years ago. So I guess in the words of the Mount Bachelor Conditions Facebook page, makes me a regular, it makes me a local, so I can put the Bend sucks, don't move here sticker on the back of my car and yell at everybody coming from California and Washington. That being said, I try to keep myself injected in the local startup scene. I'm the president of BendTech, which if you don't know what BendTech is, it's a quick shill. It's probably the coolest startup hub in Bend. We're a co-working space in the 1001 Tech Center. Before the pandemic, there were always big contingents of BendTechers in PubTalks, and it's pretty cool. If you get a chance, come by. We're one of the few co-working spaces that are absolutely packed. We're at capacity, and we can't actually take any more desks or offices, which is cool considering what's been going on for the last 18 or so months. But so why I'm here. So unless you've been camping off grid for the last 15 months, you know that the last 15 months has sucked. It's not been very good. Who likes to cycle? Who likes to run trail, race trail? Anybody? Raise your hand. Yeah, it sucked even more for you. So literally, COVID has stopped racing across the globe for everybody. And it hasn't been great. Events that we've all signed up for. I signed up for 70.3 Hawaii 2 years ago, or I guess last year. They deferred it, and then they had to defer it again. It's been kind of a bummer deal. But something really exciting happened last year. So 10 Barrel Brewing put on a virtual cross-country and mountain biking race called Riding Solo, which was named after one of their beers. And the idea around it was that you would go off and ride a real course with real people in basically about 3 weeks' time, and you were scored on a virtual leaderboard. You just couldn't do it at the same time as anybody else. You had to keep 6 feet apart, and you could enter anywhere on the course, and wherever you started was your finish line. It was a massive success. Hundreds of people signed up, and this was June of last year, and people just came out in droves because you could do it on your own time. You could do it before you got on your Zoom calls for the day. You could do it before you had to teach your kids school. You could do it at night after you put everybody to bed, before the sun went down and the mountain lions came out, or cougars came out. But you could do it on your own time, which was also pretty interesting. And you could do it as many times as you wanted over the course of the race window. So the race window in this case was several weeks, and your best effort counted for your final position in the race. And there were prizes, and we saw really cool people come in, and literally 200 people signed up. And there were thousands of entries race efforts that were submitted over the course of those weeks. So all you needed was your Apple Watch, your Apple phone, your Garmin device, your Wahoo device, whatever you could use to use a GPS tracker, and you submitted it. And that was how you justified your position on a leaderboard. So the process of that was extraordinarily difficult to manage. So the head of events over at 10 Barrel, because they had no other events to manage at the time, it became her full-time job for a month. So she would receive screenshots of people's watches, people's phones, people's Strava feed, and she would have to figure out, did they do the course? Did they do the course right? What was their time? And then put it into a Google sheet and then tabulate that, sort it, and that was the final finishing position for people. And it turned into a full-time job for her, and it was a bad deal. It was awesome for the participants, but for the back end, it was terrible. So the last time I was up here 3 years ago, I pitched a company called Hyperdrive, which focuses on connected car technology, which means we connect to the car and we capture telemetry, and we do timing and scoring associated with that to focus on fuel economy and improving the way you consume fuel. But what was interesting about the bike portion of this is that we could actually apply our technology in a COVID-friendly way to allow people to automatically submit their times. So we could accept it through the Garmins, the Wahoos, the Suntos, the Polars, the Fitbits, or Strava. And so we approached 10 Barrel and we said, hey, we'd love to sponsor this. We'll sponsor it, just put our logo on it, and we would love to just help you. And it turned into, over the course of July to about September, a point where we took over the race, and they're like, why don't we just let you have it, and we're going to pay you to title sponsor it like they do for Hella Big Air or any of the other events that are at Batchy. So fast forward, October of last year, we ran the second riding solo. And so what is RaceManager? So RaceManager is a turnkey race platform that enables anyone to create and run real live events in minutes on real courses. All you need is a race course that you can come up with. You can literally use something like Map My Run. You draw it in our interface. It's up in seconds. You need participants. That's it. So if you have friends, you can literally create a race in a couple minutes. As a participant, you then race on your own schedule. So you're not getting up at 8 a.m. on Sunday and going bar to bar with hundreds of people in a run or in a bike race or a skimo race, a cross-country race. It doesn't matter. As long as we have a course, and as long as we have participants, and as long as we have ways to track you, you have a way to participate. And so the neat thing is you can do this event as many times as you want in a race window. Most of our race windows really kind of operate on a 1-week time frame. We normally go from Sunday at 12:01 a.m. to Saturday at 11:59 p.m. And your best efforts, you can do 1 or 2 or 5 or 7 efforts over the course of that week, and your best effort is your finishing position. The timing and scoring is automatic. So as long as you have the device, if you have a Garmin device, you have a Polar device, you have a Sunto device, you use Strava, you use the Apple Watch or Apple Health, it works automatically. In the words of Steve Jobs, it just works. You get instant email notifications, so when somebody bumps you off the leaderboard. So if somebody actually moves you from 8th to 9th, you see how far back you are in your age group, in the category, in the gender overall. It doesn't matter. We have ontology that will send you the most pertinent change of race position email to your email. You, on the back end, as a race organizer, we handle all the waivers. We handle all the liability releases. If you want to charge for races, we got you. If you want to do cool unlockable perks, this is where we stand out. So when you look at something like an active.com or a run sign up, they're cool platforms, but you got your timing and scoring, you plug it in, you've got this leaderboard, but really you walk away, you got your swag bag, it's pretty neat, but you don't really have anything to go do as soon as you have the race, as soon as you've left the village, if the village exists. So what we allow participants to do and sponsors to do are unlock perks instantly using the event. So I go ride fun or tiddlywinks on my mountain bike. As soon as I finish and I sync, I can go to Thump and get a 12-ounce coffee, just showing the app, or showing the web page. I can go to 10 Barrel and get a $5 pub coupon. I have a $5 pub coupon to use for people under 21. I can go get it comes off of my bill. If it's an adult, you can get yourself a frosty beverage, which is pretty rad. You have this ability to engage local sponsors, which in COVID is something that people really don't have a good grasp on. Like we need to drive traffic to local businesses because local businesses are hurting. Up until this week, we really didn't have a way to be in a room like this. There was very limited seating. There was very limited flow and business through these businesses. So we help release that pressure. So boil it down, RaceManager is a simple turnkey way to race in the real world without the massive logistics usually required for events. You can stand up awesome events in minutes and create incredible experiences for your participants and for your sponsors. So who cares? Like, that's neat, but who's gonna use it? First, you can create races against your friends, whether it's skimo, so you're climbing the uphill route at Bachelor, you're coming down, I don't know, something. I'm not going to mention the route because that's where I broke my leg. Dad just brought me back, way too much, sorry. But you can create a friend race around the Deschutes River Trail. You can do Funner Tiddlyrinks. You can do Ben's Voodoo Fills on a mountain bike. You can go up and down Skyliners, which is also awesome. For professional race organizers, you can create slick, revenue-generating sites and events that build brand affinity, drive local engagement, and literally are wins across the board for your participants. Some of the most interesting things that we had happen with the Riding Solo last October, where we had people who never care about racing. They're like, I don't race. Racing sucks. It's not for me. And we had those people literally enter multiple times, like, I need to enter again. Do I still have time? And we'd get these really kind of weird random emails, like through our support system. But they were like, I want to go again. Do I have time? I'm like, yeah, you've got time. You've got 2 more days. And as you got closer to the end of the window, you watched the times plummet. So in October particularly, we had Jesse Thomas, who's an Ironman champion. We had Emma Marnin, who's a Live-sponsored rider. We had pros come in and just literally send it. And they would send it on Wednesday, and then they would send it on Thursday, and then they would send it again on Friday, and you'd watch the times tumble. And as a passive viewer, it was exciting. So you're actually watching people race, and you're watching people go back out because they want to get one more last effort into the race. So it was pretty cool. When you look at the landscape of racing, there are over 30,000 organized cycling and running events every year. There are 60 million runners and cyclists every year that participate in these events. None of them, or very few of them right now. Bend Marathon's a great example. Didn't happen because Bend couldn't issue the permit. You can't race right now. And even more importantly, when you can race, this opens a way for you to increase the throughput of your event. So instead of having a single-day event, you can now have training leading up to the event, or you can bookend the event and say, well, we're going to do the virtual, we're going to do the RaceManager event leading up to the single-day event, and then the people on the single-day event will be classified, and they'll get the trophies specially for that day, but you can have everybody classified in the same fashion across not just the lead-up, but also the race day event. So why are we different? There's no simple way to create races from the ground up, from the course up. You can't just draw a course, and you can't just set up a race and set up a time frame and set up like, here are the categories and send it out to your friends. We solved that. Running races is cumbersome. You've got permits, logistics, timing, and scoring. We're the one-stop solution for that. We're literally a software as a service solution to handle all of that. Third, the participants race the courses the way they want, when they want, and as many times as they want with their best effort counting. So it's a more engaging experience than just the one experience where you get the day of and either you have a great race or you don't have a great race. But if you think about something like the Sunnyside Tuesday ride, you can go out and start to see how you compare to other people. Even if you don't make it to Sunnyside at 5:30, you can go at 6:30 and ride later and see how you compared against Matt Lieto and Chris Lieto and everybody else that are the pros. You can see how you compare against them on a leaderboard, which is pretty cool. And then finally, the local retailer activation. So when you go do a course, you actually get to unlock something that you can go use instantly. You can go get Thump coffees. We get 750 cups of coffee from Thump every month for people to go in. What's even cooler is we've been running these races since October, and we have a 30% redemption rate of people who have unlocked perks. In local retail, that is unheard of when you talk about coupons or in a way to drive people to local retail. So you have this package that is unbelievable. So last October, we ran Riding Solo. We also ran a running race called Running Solo, which ran through the Deschutes River Trail, it ran through Tetherow, it ran through Northwest Crossing, it ran up Pilot Butte. We had 667 entries in the event. We logged over 1,080 hours and 10,000 miles of activities over the course of that 4-week period. It was a massive, massive success. In November, we spun it off of the company Hyperdrive, which I pitched up here 3 years ago, and it now boasts a team of 10 that are dedicated to making this company successful, including the original head of marketing for PowerBar. We have people who have worked on the sites for RockShox, for Specialized, for the Olympic Games. We have people from the Ironman. We have people from Zwift, all included in this team. And we've run a number of events, including, I don't know if anybody's hiked a butte with the Big Butte Challenge with Cascade Relays, right there. We've done, the Cascade Relays has done an event called the Big Butte Challenge, which was 5 buttes in and around Bend over the last 7 or 8 weeks. Each time you crest a butte, Deschutes, Wild Ride, BBC, 10 Barrel, you can go and you unlock a beer at one of these. They each sponsor a butte. You can go get your beer as soon as you get down. We had almost 2,000 entries with that event. Literally, they bought buffs and did the deals with the breweries, and that was the extent of the logistics because of the platform. So who are our competitors? So Strava, maybe. Map My Run, maybe. Ride with GPS, maybe. Nobody really has a kind of like a holistic solution to this problem. Red Bull has tried to, they've dipped their toes in this space, most recently with a lap counter at Glen Helen in California. But nobody's really doing it at our scale. So the usability, the lack of features that most of the other solutions have out there really gives us our edge. So why are we better? We've built it from the ground up to be the next generation race course, participant management, and local sponsor activation platform. Our solution makes launching an event simple. So we have on the personal side, you can launch a personal event literally in 30 seconds. It comes down to like importing an activity from Strava or a course. You can bring in a Zwift course even, and you invite your friends, and you've got as many friends as you want. The race is live. You just can't charge for it as a personal race, but it's all free. Our team is world-class. Like I said, we've got team with people who have worked on brands like Zwift, Ironman, PowerBar, the Olympic Games, Specialized, RockShox. I mean, you kind of name it. We've got the sports pedigree. We drive actual measurable commerce, which is the biggest thing that races can't do well. We can measure it. We know that there's a 30.9% redemption rate for the Big Butte Challenge. Nobody else can say that when they walk up to when one of their participants walks up to the cash wrap at Thump. If you have the right idea and decent marketing, you can literally stand up an event that will create $25,000 a month with no overhead. It's pretty awesome. So what are our PubTalk asks? First, go hike a butte if you get a chance. Big Butte Challenge ends on the 31st. You can get yourself a beer, you get yourself a buff. It's pretty cheap. It's a lot of fun. People dig it. It's bigbutte.racemanager.app. Second, we launched registration for 10 Barrels Riding Solo, the June series, which is some really kick-ass courses. So even if you're not comfortable on a mountain bike, we've got something for you. That's ridingsolo.me. And if you use the coupon code PubTalk, that's good for 50% off. And we even have early entry discounts right now up until National Trail Day, which is June 5th. But you still get 50% off of anything you want to enter up until June 5th. And finally, if you know somebody who wants to do local retail activation, if you know somebody who wants to run some cool events, holler. I'm Jason at RaceManager.app. And if you want to just chat or pick my brain or talk about how CBD could be in the hands of thousands of people, holler. That's it. And
thanks, Jason. That's great. This is so cool. I love it. My favorite part of your talk was when you were like, the Wahoo, the Strava, the Fitbit, the blah. I'm like, what, the what? the what, Jason? So I feel like there's lots of other applications for this. Have you thought about like youth races or like cruisingsolo.com, just like a slow ride through town or something like that? Just
Yeah, totally. So a good example is the Big Butte Challenge or riding solo. Riding solo, if you're under 19, you get in for free. Bend kids with the exclamation point. So if you have a kid under 19, over 10 for insurance reasons, they can race for free. Bend kids with an exclamation point, 100% off. That's all good. And we have some really kick-ass prizes. So we've raised in this particular tranche over $25,000 in sponsorships for this tranche of events. We have everything from video bike fits to 10-barrel beers to coffees to rentals from Pine Mountain. We've got acupuncture. So you literally, everybody's eligible to this. And then what's really neat is there's a shootout at the end, which is you and 9 of your best friends go with a pro and a handcrafted experience at the mountain, and you get to ride. It's catered, it's beered. And it's just something you can't get anywhere else in the world.
A shootout. Hello. Aaron. Jason, what is your revenue model and pricing strategy? Thanks, Cameron.
So we charge $5 per entry, flat. And so every month that we've been in existence so we started doing these races in October of last year. Every month since October of last year, we have been revenue positive. We generate revenue as a percent, or not a percentage, but as a flat $5 per entry. So if there's, in the case of riding solo, there are 4 races or 4 stages. You pay anywhere from $20 to $25 for a race entry unless you buy it in bulk. No matter what, RaceManager makes $5 per every entry, and that's it. It's a flat deal. It's all baked in. That includes your waivers. That includes generating your revenue. You have to pay the stripe fees if you're going to recognize revenue through a third-party processor, but it's $5.
That's awesome. Yes.
Have you approached the high schools or the colleges that now have like mountain bike teams? Or is that
Have you approached any of the high schools or college that have mountain biking teams or?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
So the middle schools up all the way through high school is governed by an organization called NICA. And NICA is, we've had a number of NICA participants in not just riding solo last year, but in some of the races this year. We don't do youth-centric races yet, but we do support youth in any way, shape, or form, because a lot of ways the youth can kick the crap out of like the category 3 men and women, so, which is awesome.
With their healthy joints. Yes, in the back.
First of all, do the Big Butte Challenge. It's super fun. We're enjoying all 4 races.
I didn't shill you. You didn't come because of me, by the way.
But like, what is your guys' like grand plan, almost from an exit standpoint? Like, if Strava looks at you, is it like, are you a feature that they buy? Like, is that a win, or do you want to continue to be your own standalone thing? Or
Okay.
are you worried that Strava's like, oh, we'll just build you when you're
So do you have like an exit strategy for development for if you're going to get purchased by something like Strava? Do you want to stand alone? What's your kind of big vision for this thing?
Great question. Yes. We don't anticipate being around for more than 2 years, to be perfectly honest. So the model around what we've done is the closest comparison is a company called Race Roster that was purchased on Halloween of 2019 for 5x revenue. And they were a registration platform. They were bought by ASICS, similar to Runkeeper, which I stupidly didn't decide to become the CTO of. But the interesting, which was also bought by ASICS, which was the digression. The interesting part there is that they bought it for 5x revenue. They bought it for $28 million. So our goal with 100,000 participants is to get us somewhere around a $500,000 to $1 million run rate, and at a minimum get taken out for around 5x of that.
I'd say that's a pretty good plan, Jason. I think you really thought that through. Okay,
Shannon,
any
we
other
have a
questions?
couple questions in
Yes,
the theater.
let's hear it.
Hi, Jason. My question is, with normal races, whoever's putting it on probably has to get a permit or something like that. So what is what is the regulatory environment for permitting and things like that with these races that either your platform is facilitating or you guys are running yourself?
Do you want to repeat it or good? Oh, fair enough. So that's a wonderful question. So, and it's something that's come up several times. Because of the nature of our courses, and 95% of our races, with the exception of the Big Butte Challenge, which isn't on private property or Forest Service property or Ben's Park and Rec, we run loops. And by running a loop, we can avoid the majority of permitting because we don't have a congregation point. We don't need toilets. We don't need permits. We're not going to have impact on a particular point in a park or on a trailhead. So the neat thing about our technology is when you roll up to Fun or Tiddlywink, it's a great example. So it goes along Century Drive, and it turns around right at Winoga and kind of comes up towards Kiowa, comes back down towards Green Gate, which is where the Paintball Paradise sign is, if you're not familiar. But you can enter at Green Gate, which is down the lowest point of the course, or you can enter at Winoga, or you can drive into the access road to go up to Tiddlywinks and enter there. By doing that, you're alleviating the need for congregation points. You're not having people have impact on one particular point on the course. And then wherever you've entered, our technology knows that as soon as you've entered that point, we don't stop scoring until you come back to that point. And if you don't come back to that point, you don't get counted. So,
But does anybody check on them? Like if they don't ever show up, like, is there a backup plan? That's a joke.
Yeah.
Okay, I think, was there another question in the theater?
Yes, one more.
Hi. I'm 1 butte away from completing the Big Butte Challenge.
I think you need to be a little closer to the microphone. You want to get a little bit of your lip gloss on it.
Really?
Yeah.
Is that better?
There you go.
Okay. I'm 1 butte away from finishing the Big Butte Challenge, and after going up Gray Butte, I feel like I deserve more than a buff.
Well, but you got 4 beers and 4 cups of coffee.
And some killer glutes.
Yeah, right? I mean, if you did Black Butte, the Black Butte,
Not
up until
yet.
like this week, Black Butte has been like under massive snow. So like getting to the end of the course of Black Butte has been a challenge. Like it's been like we had these guys come out and do all 5 buttes on the first day, and so we have the ability to upload videos or upload photos, and that's how you also unlock the it's an honor system with the Big Butte Challenge. But you upload the photos or the photos of the Big Butte, of whatever buttes you're doing. And we had these guys literally just like in the course of like 6 hours do all 5 buttes. It's Black, Gray, Bessie, Aubrey, and Pilot. And it's just like, oh my God, are you guys nut?
Yes.
Like,
Yes.
Yes.
But my actually, it's not a question. It's just a user
It's just like a 3-star review.
point. Exactly.
And actually to answer that, we don't own this race. The Cascade Relays owns this race. We power the technology. They took care of all of the swag. They took care of all of the unlockable perks with the exception of Thump, which we brought to the table, and Tenbro, which we brought to the table. So,
Your beef is with Cascade Relay.
well, come over here.
No.
I've got some
I
hats.
just
I'll give you a
to
hat or a
log in,
keychain.
I have to click
Anybody want a hat?
and get a link through my email every time to log in.
Oh, okay.
So it's a user. It is
Watch your-
technology.
watch
So there's
Class.
the issue is she's logging in multiple times.
Anyone else?
Was there anything else from the theater?
Do you have a question?
Yeah, okay, we have one live.
So I ride every Sunday. I rode to the links last Sunday, and I ride with show people. They have garments. I clock on my Apple Watch. I see huge differences in vertical, in time, and in distance. So how do you manage that?
That's not cool. So she says she rides with 2 friends. They're on Garmin. She's on Apple Watch. There's huge variations between their results.
Right.
Like it's a significant. This is legitimate. Yeah.
No, it's.
So
Right.
are you how are you addressing this?
Yeah, so we actually have to do it with BYO device. So when you use an Apple device, we snap you to the actual course, to the closest point that you can be on the course, and we have some math that allows you to normalize everybody, and then because we're in charge of timing and scoring, if we do see cases where your Strava or your Apple Health log will not match up to what we see because we have start-finish zones. We have making sure that you're within, so there are a couple rules that we follow. One, if you aggregate more than 200 meters off course, you're excluded. If you upload or you sync more than 24 hours outside of the race of the time you've started your effort, you're excluded. So if you go in particular with a particular racer if you're drafting and you're within 6 feet, you're excluded for safety.
But so is there like a calibration for these devices?
Yeah, so we use
This is ludicrous.
So we use maps from not just Google, but we also use Mapbox, and we also use our own homebrewed mapping technology that allows us to have pretty high resolution when it comes to snapping. And we haven't had many complaints. I think in the original Riding Solo, we had like a 95% happy and success rate with customer support out of 272 customer support inquiries. So.
Okay. I like the way you said math. It was like math. Some math.
Science. Well, we're all
Yeah,
here
we have
'cause
some
of
say we're all
science.
doing science.
Yeah.
Yes, we are all doing science. Okay, I do want to say, love you're very good at using like slang words.
But I didn't go to the PG-13. You know,
No,
so
you didn't. Actually, you said,
sucks.
well, you said kick-ass twice.
Yeah, but
I know. I felt that one. I'm gonna say, my besties here in town, we're gonna race down to Lululemon this weekend. We should set something up and unlock some perks. You know what I'm saying? This is awesome, Jason. Such a pleasure. I love your idea. I think there's so many applications. I hope you sell this thing for 10x.
Thank you.
All right.
Yeah.
Thanks for being here.